Hey folks, it's Brian. Again with a Far Horizons update. Last time we had confiscated back a bunch of stuff that was stolen from some Alliance Star Lines shipments that held a number of artifacts and stuff that were headed towards a museum. And we've been hired on to continue to run down this thread on these artifacts. Specifically, we are tasked to find a staff from a statue and Humphrey's uncle's diary, if I've got that right. So that's the mission for the crew. Dylnn's diary, or personal diary. Diary. I said diary. It was log, right? Personal log. Dylnn's personal log. Start or engage. Maybe I should use that. So anyway, we've been tasked to track down these two things for the Humphrey estate: the staff from a statue and his uncle's diary. So we travel from Marduk back to Mephistopheles, because apparently that's where the uncle had lived. His apartment that he lived in has been sold. A couple had moved in, but they have been murdered. They'd owned it for like 3 days. There are news reports out there with photos. The house is in complete disarray, has been ransacked. This couple that had been murdered had recently been employed at the university in the anthropology department. We did some background. Rex has got computer skills and he can tap into stuff. So we did some digging around, and their background for this couple isn't very deep. So we figured something's pretty fishy going on. And I personally have heard of them, and I used to work here. This was the university where I was an adjunct faculty for the archaeology department, and I still have my key card. So I think we should go and check out their workspaces, see what we can find out there. But everybody else is, they want to do other things or they're trying to do something else. And sure enough, the next day on the news, there's a fire on campus, the anthropology department, everything's been burned down. Why don't they listen to me? So we take care of some administrative stuff. We go online to get some concealed carry permits here for the planet. And we can do that with association with Alliance Star Lines, that kind of thing. That's going to take a few days, though. The attorney for the uncle's estate, I believe, is T.J. Phelps, Esquire. So we contact him. He says he can make room for us maybe in a couple of days, say at 6 p.m. And there was something about his tone was not right. So we start digging in what's going on here. And Rex, again, with his skills, is able to trace that phone call. And Phelps is 1,000 miles out of town. His office is in here. Well, in this section, not necessarily this section of town, because the town all surrounds the bay. You know how things get, they're really big. And the campus is in this area, and the apartment is in this area. So what is he doing so far away? So we go and we charter ourselves a suborbital flight. We land outside the community. We rent a car. We drive out to the estate. We find out the property is owned in trust by a corporation law firm, Hyper James and Associates. And they're not associated with Phelps. Phelps is a one-man shop, because we did some digging into him as well. So there's two different things going on here. Anyway, we get to the estate, we climb over the fence, park outside because we don't want to, blow our cover. No, that's not right either. Expose ourselves. And we get up fairly close to the house, and we fly a drone in, and the house is torn completely apart. The furniture even cut up, like they're looking for stuff inside the stuffing and things. It is a mess. Okay, so we go up to the house. They bypass the lock on the front door. Most of the party goes in the front. Tatiana and I, we go around back, climb up the balcony. Took me 3 tries to get up there. It's been a long time since I've done this kind of stuff. I notice someone's in the hallway. So I pull Tatiana up and chase down this guy. He starts climbing out the window. I drop down off the balcony, twist my ankle, and start running towards him to reach for him. I get a hold of his belt. He shoots at me. And at this point, everybody else has been, dropping down or coming out through the window and gang piling him, right? Eventually, he gets grabbed and stunned. End blog. Okay, so it turns out that this house belongs to the uncle. And the guy we grabbed was indeed Phelps, the attorney. Well, that's not talking, that's other stuff. Okay, so some other background kind of stuff, right? Marduk. Remember where we are is a sector that a port point, wormhole, some kind of travel gate, something was established to get out here from Earth, and so there was this massive evacuation from Earth of different groups, organizations, whatever, coming out here and colonizing. And some of these colonies were lost, and that's where that bug planet I was on before was one of these lost colony kinds of things. Well, here in this sector, Marduk is British sovereignty, a planet. Baphomet, which we've been on before, is a Franco-British organization, but they're anti-sovereigns, that kind of thing. Another thing, Bechtel is a mining corporation, and that's going to come in key to some future scenarios we're going to do. Looking through my notes here because I got some stuff that broke up. There's a phrase we got from somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. It's got to be the computer, which is coming up next. That the diary is the key and the ship shows the way. Okay, I've got other notes here that I have no idea what they mean anymore. The uncle is from Marduk. The attorney, Phelps, was hired by the Ajax Corporation. The Ajax Corporation has been making purchases of these artifacts, early colonial artifacts, and then shipping them to Marduk. Ajax Corporation is owned by Mr. Huntleyworth. So there's a lot of this spaghetti kind of stuff going on. The diary itself is not listed among the assets of the estate. The uncle died in an apartment on Mephistopheles due to congestive heart failure. However, the blood toxicology does not indicates no medication going on, but the police report states he was being on medication, was taking it. So there's something else going on here as well. Okay. That gets us to here, I think. Okay. Dylnn, personal log, begin. Okay, so the house appears to belong to the uncle. And this guy we took is Phelps, this attorney guy we've been talking to. So we stuck him with truth serum. And we got a doc on the team. Phelps is looking for the diary. and he tells us they're going to kill her. It turns out that her is Janet, his wife. So somebody's using him clandestinely to do this kind of stuff. Anyway, while we're there at the house, we start hearing sirens. The police are coming. So we grab Phelps and we take him back with us. We check out his residence. And we get a hold of the uncle's computer. And it's kind of funny because when you start it up, it starts playing this song, "A Pirate's Life for Me," rape and pillage and murder and whatever, this tune starts playing, right? And we figure out that if we sing along with it, the system will open up. Where the guy's got to be a weirdo. Well, anyway, on the computer, there's a bunch of stuff from of him taking walks along the bay, out fishing. There are pictures of sailing ships that correspond to the exploration period, ancient Earth, the three-masted schooner kind of thing. We also get a hold of a painting of the Jolly Roger. It's actually a 250 to 300 ton exploration ship. We do some research into that. But we weren't able to find anything. But the ship is like 300 years old, based upon its architecture is about 300 years old. We'll get some more news report. We dig in some more news reports. Jeremiah Henderson, who was a merchant out of Marduk. But there's no reference to the Jolly Roger. But there are references to Jeremiah in court proceedings. He was tried for piracy, but due to insufficient evidence, charges were dropped. We also find out that Henderson was also, and he retired on Mephistopheles with a seemingly significant amount of wealth, but there's no trail on where all that money came from. So obviously people think it was the piracy deal. Anyway, we found that he was aboard a ship called the Nova Britannia, which is an exploratory ship. And they were doing piracy against the planet Xoctal. The Nova Britannia was decommissioned 200 years ago here on Mephistopheles. We also find some email exchanges going on that happened after the uncle was dead. Some of them requesting the spear. So we do some more research, find out, it's been decommissioned here on Mephistopheles. We go to the boneyard, and we go and check it out. We find the ship, and funny enough, spray painted on the bow of the ship is Jolly Roger. This guy's a loon. Anyway, so we're all digging around, and I'm in storeroom number 4, and I find a loose air duct, and inside that duct is a package, and wrapped up in a greasy old rag is this dark, bent piece of metal rotting, right? And we head back. It so happens, as we're doing other research around the area and stuff, that on the beach here on the bay there is a restaurant bar called the Jolly Roger, and out in front of it, park's that right word, docked in front of the bar is one of these three-masted schooners, right? So we go down and we check out the restaurant, and sure enough, there are pictures on the wall of different folks, some of which have Henderson? Yeah, Jeremiah, I believe. No, it was the uncle. Pictures of the uncle. In these pictures, dressed up like a pirate captain. They call him Captain Black. So we start asking around, hey, this guy, did he come here a lot or that kind of thing? And we get some stories about things he's done. He used to do things out in the bay where they'd have Pirate Day, and they take the ship out with all the kids and that kind of stuff, and fire the cannon and that kind of stuff. So he was a regular here. So I asked if there was a particular spot that he always sat in. Sure enough, there was. There's a booth up against the window on the far side. So we all go down, we sit down there, like, and we order something, right? And I start feeling around, and it's the bench loose, and the cushion comes up. So I kind of scooch up, pull up the cushion, reach underneath, and pull out the freaking diary. Oh man, what a score! Ah, great times and diary. Okay, so I don't think I have anything to add here just yet, but these were some fun times. I really enjoyed this game. I have to figure out how to keep rolling with these things on in between discussions and the journal entries, the personal logs. There we go, personal logs. Happy gaming.